Yes. Yes.
This is me biting into a sweet, juicy piece of Seattle teriyaki chicken. You've probably heard of the Philly cheesesteak and Chicago's deep dish pizza, but did you know that Seattle is known for its teriyaki? Hi, I'm Yara, and when I visited Seattle for the very first time, before the coronavirus pandemic, it sometimes seemed like there was a teriyaki shop on every block.
There's teriyaki restaurants everywhere. Like, literally, we just came across 5 of them.
They all serve some variation of this: grilled sliced chicken thighs and a sweet teriyaki glaze, with rice and a simple salad, all at an affordable price. The dish is named after a Japanese cooking method that involves a light, glossy marinade. But Seattle's teriyaki has strayed from its roots to become its own phenomenon.
There's 3 things that represent Washington: rain, coffee, and teriyaki.
And today, many of the teriyaki shops in Seattle are actually owned by Korean immigrants.
Teriyaki restaurant is Americanized Korean business.
Asian Americans have played a huge part in the food scene of Seattle and the US. But after COVID, discrimination against their community got even worse.
Asian Americans becoming targets of discrimination.
Chinese virus.
So this video is a love letter to Seattle's Asian American community. It's a story of how a sweet and salty chicken and rice dish, impacted by waves and waves of Asian immigration, fundamentally transformed Seattle's food culture and became an iconic part of this city. What do you want to tell people about Seattle's teriyaki culture?
I love teriyaki. You have it on every corner.
They're everywhere. It's cheap, like everyone can eat it.
It's kind of like the root of the area.
To learn more, I had to start at the very beginning. Meet Toshi Kasihara, the godfather of Seattle teriyaki.
Hi, I'm Toshi.
He's credited with opening Seattle's first teriyaki shop in 1976, after he immigrated from Japan.
1, 2, yes! Can you tell us a little bit about how teriyaki got started in Seattle?
I always wanted to have my own business and found that American people like chickens.
This chicken rocks!
What was it like opening up your first shop in 1976?
76. First 3 months, not very busy. We had a big write-up on Seattle Times. All of a sudden, business went up about 3-4 times.
Did you have like lines out the door? Oh, how much were you selling like a teriyaki combo for back then?
Like $2.10.
Dang.
They loved it. I think they loved the price too.
How much does this cost today?
9 something.
Dang, that's a lot of chicken for one serving.
This sauce existed since 1976.
The recipe is a secret, I assume.
It is.
In Japan, teriyaki sauce is usually some combination of soy sauce, sake, sweet rice wine, and/or sugar. But American teriyaki, specifically Seattle teriyaki, is a bit different.
Is there more sugar in the American version than maybe the Japanese version?
The American version may be a little bit sweeter.
It's usually thicker, like a syrup, and it's often seasoned with ginger and garlic.
There's more teriyaki restaurants in Seattle than there are some fast food chains, right? McDonald's, Burger King. And you essentially created this culture.
I think it changed the way people eat. They have another choice.
Although Toshi and the inspiration for his original teriyaki recipe come from Japan, today, many teriyaki restaurants in Seattle are actually owned by Korean immigrants, who have incorporated parts of their own culinary heritage into the menus. And a lot of the shops we visited were owned by Korean American women. Women like Robbie Seo, whose family started the Happy Teriyaki chain in Seattle.
I teach on YouTube videos how to cook. Yep, that's me. See all these, yeah?
Oh, that's amazing.
Robbie's mother, Chung was one of the pioneers of Seattle's teriyaki scene. She employed new Korean American immigrants and trained them in the art of making teriyaki, eventually helping them start their own teriyaki businesses.
She had 6 children, so she cooked every day, and she was quite a businesswoman. She went in and rocked it.
Robbie's mom was part of a huge wave of Asian immigrants who came to the US after the Immigration and Nationality Act was passed in 1965. The act ended long-standing restrictions on immigration from countries outside of Western Europe. And between 1970 and 1990, the Korean American population in Washington's King County grew from 712 people to nearly 13,000. Like many Korean immigrants, Robbie's family got involved with the local church. They certainly weren't alone. In the 90s, some 70% of Korean immigrants to the US were active churchgoers. And Korean churches were places where new immigrants could find community, and also possibly a job.
Teriyaki was a very safe business. Nobody really failed at that too much. It's very easy, simple, home-based cooking. because bulgogi and hot and spicy pork was a very similar taste, but we never called it teriyaki. There was a lot of church members that we helped, and they come in and they would learn from inside out how to clean chicken, how to grill chicken and all that, and they opened up another store.
By giving new church members jobs, Robbie's mom set the stage for Seattle's present-day teriyaki culture.
Speaking to other teriyaki shop owners, like, seems like she was one of the queens of the teriyaki scene.
And she just really loved to help people.
She passed away in 1998, but her legacy lives on in the dozens of Korean American-owned teriyaki restaurants that exist today.
How often do you eat teriyaki?
More than I should admit.
Way too much. 2 times a week, maybe?
Once a week.
Several times a week.
Every day.
Once a month.
My wife thinks it's like once a month, but probably like once a week.
But who's teriyaki's biggest fan? Probably this guy. He's been eating teriyaki for over 20 years. Meet Claiborne Bell, or as some people call him,
Yaki.
Yaki. Why is your nickname Yaki?
Well, I eat teriyaki a lot, and I used to bring teriyaki with me to Bible study. So I would be in there eating like, and they just like calling me like, so Yaki, what do you think?
And they still call you Yaki?
Yeah, they still call me Yaki.
This is what you get all the time?
This has been their lunch special since 1992.
Oh my God.
I made that up, but it's been a long time. Every time I come in here, I get this exact same thing. They could have the best menu in the world. I wouldn't know. This is what I eat.
Like, do you go to other cities and find this?
I don't trust the teriyaki in other cities. No, I don't. I actually don't eat teriyaki in other places. This is a delicacy where I'm from.
The story of teriyaki is rooted in Asian American immigration to Seattle and the idea that the arrival of new cultures and cuisines can change the identity of a city forever. Toshi's loose interpretation of a Japanese dish and waves of Korean immigration created a staple food that came to define a city, a staple not only of Seattle cuisine, but also of American cuisine, and one with a pretty hardcore following. There are some reports that Seattle's unique teriyaki culture is starting to disappear, and COVID is definitely having an impact on the restaurant industry as a whole. But it's also hard to imagine that something so affordable, delicious, accessible, and iconic could just,
I don't think teriyaki will ever die. Maybe they'll change, a little bit of a facelift, but I don't think it'll ever die.
Teriyaki is part of Seattle's identity, just like its Asian American population. Without it, and them, Seattle just wouldn't be Seattle. Hey guys, thanks for watching. So this video really got me thinking about what American food is and how that's changed in so many amazing ways over the years. Like, this country is the nexus of so many different cultural contributions from so many different parts of the world. So what kind of dish is your hometown known for? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to like, share, subscribe, all the things. Thanks.